I am the Doctor, this is my section. Earth is under my protection. Planet of birth is Gallifrey. I've got two hearts, your life is saved. Run into the Master Raw Missy. Come on, Alonzo. Alonzi. I am a Time Lord. No, I'm not rich. 12 bodies a man. Now it's time for a switch. Don't look like that. I'm in great health. You were expecting someone else? Regeneration. Oh, such fun. When I say run, run, run. What's up, my boy? Peace and sanity. Sorry, mustache. Reverse the polarity. Sometimes I'm north, but always a limey, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Jump in the TARDIS, go for a ride. It's bigger on the inside. Exploring all of time and space. Oh, what's that? Exterminate.
Cybermen or Daleks, maybe.
Would you like a jelly baby? Time's ticking, we'd best go. A new adventure, Geronimo. I am fantastic, so are you. Best come with me. I'm Doctor Who. Welcome to a brand new episode of D4WH. I am your host. I'm Adam O'Sullivan is an imbecile.
One of my favourite lines.
Oh, so good. Joined as always by my co-host. Her heart is almost pure gold. It's Nicchia Shoot.
Oh, it is gold.
Yes, that's why we have you on the podcast to match my
always believe in
black
your
heart.
soul. Something like that.
Oh my.
I suspend our ballet song. I don't remember.
Right.
It's the 80s.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah. First cut is the deepest, they say.
Oh my God. Please welcome our guest. She is necessary to our plan. It's the food wanker, Beck Buckingham.
Buenos dias, muchachos.
Thank you for speaking, Cybermen.
Yes. Yes. Do you shoot out of your head as well?
Oh, what did I just say to you?
I don't know. Good
I hope
morning.
it wasn't rude.
Good morning, mateys.
Shoot your laser gun with a little pop rockets off.
It kind of looks like spitballs, but...
I love when they put the sound effect on and it's like, look, it's a laser now.
No, it's still a spitball.
No, it's still a little firework.
This one was fun. I laughed out loud a few times.
Before we get to that, let's do as we always do and start it with a bit of a D-whirl. Doctor Who in real life. And of course, today we're not joined by our BekTech.
No, I know. Well,
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
what? She's dead.
No.
No, it's just a shallow grave out the back.
Yeah.
Just shitting us, really. So, she told me we weren't allowed to talk about her, so that's all I'm going to talk about on the entire podcast.
And my name's actually Rachel, but I changed it to
Beck.
Today, just to...
Fantastic.
Just so you could fit in. Yeah.
Well, you are auditioning for the new role of Beck, which involves basically doing our levels and editing all our episodes.
And looking at Nicchia disapprovingly throughout
Yes.
the episode.
Oh, yes. If you could just throw in a couple of, oh, my God.
I can do that.
That would be
Can I
amazing.
just practice one? Oh, my God.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's like she's in the room.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, we all know that Jodie Whittaker is the Doctor, but what about a Doctor?
I heard this.
The cast and crew of The Woman Who Fell to Earth, Jodie's first episode as the 13th Doctor, have been given honorary doctorates by the Sheffield Hallam University.
Doctorates in what?
Honorary.
Doctor Who. Yep, honorary.
I want to have an honorary doctorate, but in something. Butterfly collection or...
Yeah, maybe you get to pick. Like, you just pick something.
Like physics, because I know shit all about physics, but I'd like an honorary doctorate.
Maybe you're a doctor of honorary doctorates. It's like, it's a circle.
Yeah, I'd get something wanky like poetry. I've got an honorary doctorate in poetry.
I hope they have to have a ceremony where they wear those ridiculous hats. Like I've seen a ceremony where they've given out doctorates and it is hilarious.
Yes, I do like that. I missed my graduation, so I didn't get to wear a hilarious hat.
Oh, do you have a doctorate?
No, just for my postgrad stuff.
Oh, okay, right.
God.
One of the people
You
accepting a
big
doctorate
wanker.
when I was graduating was someone who did a doctorate on the history of Kelvin Grove.
What?
Yeah.
See,
That's a tiny, boring little suburb in Brisbane for those playing at home.
It's where the university is, so I suppose that's why it made more sense.
Oh, I wonder if I could do a doctorate in Dolby.
Another tiny, boring little outer suburb of Brisbane for those
It's the
playing
place
at home.
A fair way out of,
it's the place you bring up whenever you have to mention a place that's
boring
and out of the way.
And I hope there's nobody from Dolby listening.
And you've got to say it really slowly. Dolby.
It's like where I'm from, Clontarf.
Clontarf.
It's actually Clontarf, but if you're from Clontarf, you got to say it with an apostrophe instead of a T.
Well, that's like here, banyo. You can't say banyo.
Banyo.
You say,
Oh, you come from Banyo.
Hola, I'm from Banyo.
we play banjos in banyo.
And now we indoctrinate the new pope who is from Banyo.
Banyo.
Queensland.
Originally
yeah.
raised in Clonard.
How's it going? I'm going to be your new Pope, bros.
I'm Popey.
All
Pope Scott.
I'm Popey, yeah.
Pope Bruce.
I'm Pope Mo.
Pope Meister.
Yeah.
The big P.
First of all, I'm going to make the church fully sick, bruh.
Yeah. And then we'll pop down to the servo.
All right, who's in charge of getting me some ciggies?
Yeah.
And a Chiquito.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just nick out for a durry. I won't be long.
You all got pies here in the Vatican?
Wouldn't it be good if there was a pope that smoked?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
they do that when they pick the new Pope.
Yeah.
They do. Maybe it's the new pope smoking.
Nervously waiting for the...
Or maybe they set the old Pope on fire.
I think they generally pass away, so that could be correct.
Well, that's
They
true.
cremate them.
We've gone down a track I did not anticipate us going down.
Not very Doctor Who-y, is it?
Oi, mate, you want to come over and watch the footy? Come over to the Vado, mate. That's what I call the Vatican, bruh.
Watch the cane toads smash the cockroaches.
Afterwards, we're going to check out the Vado's erotic bathroom. It's going to be sick, bruh. That's the thing that actually exists, by the way.
I shall just say that Bathurst is on this weekend.
Oh, yes.
So, bogans galore.
So the new Pope could be there somewhere.
He could be lifting his top, someone yelling out, "Show us your tits, Popey."
Or driving.
Oh, he could be.
He could be one
Yeah.
of the
It'd be
drivers.
very difficult with that big hat. You couldn't get
Sunroof.
in the car. Well, you'd need a sunroof.
With that Pope-mobile.
Oh,
the bulletproof
Oh,
Pope-mobile.
nice.
yeah.
Nice.
No. Skazy'd beat him. I don't know. Is he still driving?
I don't know.
I think he's dead.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything.
Oh, chuck some nitros on that fucking Pope-mobile, bro.
Oh, I got 8s out the back, 10s up the front,
Yeah.
cobra stripes, some Tirana.
Yeah, tramp rods, raccoon tail on the whip aerial.
Don't you know, it's in the Bible, right? Whenever the Pope-mobile comes down, ladies got to get their tits out. That's what it says in the Bible.
One place I never want to go, I'm sorry for all those people who like it, but Bathurst. Never.
I thought you were going to say the Vatican.
Well, no, I don't want to go there
Okay.
either because I'm not Catholic.
And nor will we accept you into the faith after this podcast.
All right, you won't accept me? I'm going now. I am so contrary.
We're going to send this to the Vatican just to get us all excommunicated. Any publicity is good publicity as far as I'm
exactly.
concerned.
Oh, who'd have thought that's how the day would go?
You knew when you signed up to this.
How was your day? I was excommunicated, and otherwise it was pretty good.
Yeah, and I talked about burning popes. Yeah, happens all the time.
Hey, they were
Same,
dead
same.
at the time. I'm
Yeah.
not saying we killed them.
Oh, well, that's
or
true.
am I? Anyway.
I do believe there's a conspiracy that one of the popes was poisoned because he was a little too forward thinking.
Oh, probably. They're
What,
like,
stuff with women and...
You know, I don't know. Maybe he said you could use a condom occasionally
yeah,
or something.
he had very weird thoughts about women. Like, maybe we should let them talk sometime. And they're like, let's poison him, poison him
that
straight
one.
away.
Why aren't there any women here? Poison the pope.
I wonder if we might invite a couple of ladies. Oh, I'm sorry. Should eat this pie. It's
Yeah.
very poisoned.
And drink this.
The press release just states that the cast and the crew of the episode, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, will get an honorary doctorate. So whilst we definitely know that Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker have honorary doctorates, we can only speculate how far down they go. Presumably, Tim Shaw has been offered one.
Oh, he needs one.
Hopefully he turns up in full teethy...
Yeah, teeth all over his face.
That was a bad guy who stuck teeth to his face.
As you do.
Every time he killed somebody, he ripped open their mouths, like broke their jaws, ripped a tooth out and stuck it in his face.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. He was a lovely, lovely person, very misunderstood.
I accept this honorary doctorate on behalf of the Stenza.
And I now have your teeth.
Maybe all the way down to salad guy. Just a guy who threw salad at... Eat my salad, Halloween. Imagine doing that one gig, right? You just do that one half a day, not even a full day. And then you get a call, you're like, hey, remember how you were in that one Doctor Who episode? You've got an honorary doctorate because of that.
Cool. In salad?
Yeah. Look, come to the ceremony. We'll provide you with salad.
Will I have to throw that salad?
Yes, you will.
You will.
Okay, fair enough.
At the Vice-Chancellor.
Eat my salad, Vice-Chancellor.
Or at the Vice-Chancellor.
Caesar, Greek,
Yeah.
coleslaw.
I think Caesar.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
it
just
all
see where
goes
you're
back. It all
going.
goes back to the Aussie Pope.
I just want to stick to the theme here.
I would love to see that show, by the way, the Aussie Pope. The doctorates will be handed out during student graduation ceremonies being held in November.
God, wouldn't you want to be graduating that day and you get to see Jodie Whittaker, Chris Chibnall, and Salad Guy?
And Salad Guy.
Oh, yeah, and Salad Guy.
Everyone's like, all right, Jodie Whittaker, all right, Chris Chibnall, Salad Guy.
Would it undermine your whole academic career that a guy that hurled salad
Yeah.
standing beside you.
Yeah, I just think in general you've just spent 10 years of sweat,
Yeah.
getting your PhD, getting your doctorate, and then somebody just waltzes up who happened to be on a TV show and they get one too.
Slung a couple of croutons and
That'd piss me off.
Here we have Sir John Wilston Smythe, who spent 10 years studying the etymology of bugs and how they relate to caterpillars and fertilization of the Earth's crust. Also, Beryl, who is craft services on a single episode of Doctor Who.
There's not enough barrels getting doctorates. I would say.
As far as the university is concerned, these two are the same.
they are intertwined.
Oh, yeah, you want a sandwich? You got to call me Dr. Beryl.
I want him to be Hubert Winterbottom Smythe.
Winterbottom
Because
Smythe.
I always wanted my daughter, I used to tease her when she was young, tell her, you're going to marry Hubert Winterbottom Smythe.
God.
And she'd go, I will not. And my son was going to marry Veronica Picadeus Jones. So that
Hubert
upset
Winterbottom Smythe sounds like he, would just speak out in such a drawn-out manner that you would never understand what he said.
Oh, he'd be so inbred.
Hello.
And you know how they talk about... You know how they talk about...
My beloved.
Oh, he's still going. He's still saying hello.
Hubert.
That people's name is their profession. Like it's
yes.
What would a Winterbottom
Smythe.
have done?
Be rich.
Oh. No, but if your surname comes from what you were like, Schutt means rubble, which means we possibly lived in a tip, I don't know.
Oh, this is an interesting turn.
Yeah,
Rubble.
or we were from a long line of builders or
Well,
I'm
I'm surprised you didn't name your son Barney then.
I was going
Yeah.
to say
Barney
Barney
Rubble.
should.
I know.
And we laughed and laughed.
And he hates me. It worked out beautifully.
What does Buckingham mean?
Oh, I don't know. I married into it.
Oh.
I think it's regal.
Yes, it does sound very regal. You were riding a horse past Buckingham Palace and fell off.
And that's how I always introduce myself, Buckingham, as in palace. It gives people a real charge.
And then they just remember that your name is Beck Pallet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they go, what a wanker.
Yes. What a food wanker
I'm
she
going to
is.
call her Cunningham instead just to piss her off.
Well, my surname is O'Sullivan, and that means son of Sullivan, which I assume was a profession where a guy had a van full of Sullys.
Oh, or maybe Harry Sullivan was your...
My dad.
Long lost rally.
And did he cart rubble in that Sully
Well, maybe.
past the palace?
You have to be careful when you name your children because when I named my daughter Ella,
Ella,
we looked it
Ella.
yes, umbrella.
We're up with the music from 10 years ago.
Yeah, when we looked it up, it meant fairy princess. And then I named my son Clayton, and when he looked it up, it means from the town of clay. He was very upset that he was a lump of clay and she was a fairy princess. But you don't think when you're naming them,
Could you change it to Clayella?
Clayella. No, he wouldn't like that.
And Elton. Oh, wait, that actually does work.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Elton. So that means from the town of El.
There you go. Yeah, but anyway, it's from the town full of clay.
From the town
Full of clay,
lived Nicchia's
unhappy
son. We all live in a town of clay. A town of clay.
Woo!
A town of clay.
Get down. See, I'm with it too. Get down.
Okay.
Get down and boogie.
Next time you will be able
No,
to hear Nicchia rap.
we had you right up until Boogie.
It's groovy, man.
Oh, God. Oh, sorry, I'm doing a Beck. Oh, God.
Oh, there we go. It feels like she's in the room.
Hey, listen, Daddy-O, I know.
No, stop.
I know what the kids are down
I'm
with.
going to have to ask you to stop.
Record scratch. Our episode today is Revenge of the Cybermen. Season 12, serial... I didn't write it down. I forgot to write it down.
you
Serial 4 or
suck.
5, something. It's the final serial of Season 12. No, it won't be on that one because I didn't write it down.
God, you suck. Hang on. Do you know, I think I wrote it down. Season 12,
Yes, serial...
the last one.
Okay, great.
Now that we've established that,
Perfect. Seamless.
God, we are on it, aren't we?
it's a well-oiled machine.
On top
It really
of
is.
everything.
Written by Jerry Davis and Robert Holmes, uncredited, and directed by Michael E. Bryant.
Never heard of him.
Well,
I'm,
you heard
I'm
him-
just pointing
Okay.
that out.
Originally aired on the BBC from the 19th of April to the 10th of May, 1975.
What a year when it was 75.
What, 44 years ago?
I was still alive.
Oh my God.
I didn't refer to Sinatra.
I don't think my mum and dad had even met by that time.
Oh, shut yeah.
Well, they had me a year after they got married. So
Oh, really?
I hear they had to get married.
shotgun wedding, which then happened. The shotgun part happened a year after.
No, I heard they had to keep him.
Some people
There was a
gestate
shotgun-
longer
it was-
than others.
Yeah.
We start with a short synopsis. Arriving on Space Station Nerva in its distant past, the Doctor, Sarah, and Harry find its crew threatened by a mysterious plague. Discovering that things are not as they seem, they stumble upon a plan to commit genocide, devised by the Doctor's old enemies, the Cybermen.
Ooh.
Delete.
They look... No, they don't do the
No, they
delete
don't
in
do
this.
that.
They look better than when we first saw them on the moon base and I can't remember one in the second where they're just wearing masks over their face.
Well, that's what I remember about Doctor Who before I started watching it, is people would joke about like, oh, the Cybermen, every time you see them, it's later on in their timeline, but they look better than the last time you saw them.
Well, you know, I look better in my timeline because of plastic surgery and all those sort of creams I use. And
The lighting.
yeah, my lips are getting bigger, but yeah.
Oh, my lips are getting bigger.
It's going to be a very musical episode today. So this is the first time they've been seen as a lead villain since 1968's The Invasion, and their only appearance barring flashbacks and cameos until Earthshock in 1982.
So they were not in the Third Doctor at all. I would not in him. I mean, they weren't in his
Oh,
series.
God.
God, I would hope not. I don't think they've ever been inside Tom Baker either.
No, well, you don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
There could be fan fiction.
There probably is.
But no, you didn't see them at all in the Third Doctor at all. So this is the first time they were brought back for Tom Baker's first series.
First series, yeah, okay. It's interesting.
Is it interesting?
No,
not really.
let's shut this down right now.
God, who cares?
The Doctor, Harry, and Sarah use their time ring, to return to Space Station Nerva so the BBC can save a bit of money.
The worst piece of jewellery I've ever seen, but I probably wore it in the 80s.
It had that was that cuff-looking thing.
Yeah, it's a bracelet.
Oh, I thought it was quite nice.
Big chunky bracelet.
And the Doctor's a real bastard to Harry in this story. Because
Well,
Harry's
yes.
like, do you mind if I keep this? He's like, yes, and it disappears. And he basically turns around and goes, ha, fuck off, Harry.
Suck it, Harry.
Well, he does yell out, Harry Sullivan is an imbecile, so yeah.
Well, he does push rocks that almost crush and kill someone. Harry's could be done with manslaughter because he pushed rocks that murdered someone.
Yeah, but Harry's defence would be, well, he didn't know. Right?
Oh, I'm a man in the 70s. And they'd be like, all right, let him off.
Let him off. He's a man.
Yeah, I forgot about that special effect where they're just like swirling around. And I started laughing from the get-go.
In the opener.
Yeah, because that was the end of Genesis of the Daleks.
Yeah.
And I remember we made fun of that. And then it comes back and I was like, what is going on?
We didn't need it. We saw it in the last one. It was really shit then. It's even shitter now.
There's nothing like almost an entire series of Doctor Who where the TARDIS is hardly seen.
I
you
know. It actually annoyed me, I remember, as a kid because I loved the TARDIS and I didn't like it. I've never liked a season or an episode where the TARDIS disappears. That upsets me no end. It's like somebody stealing your Winnebago and you've got nowhere to go.
The TARDIS isn't there, but don't worry, it's travelling backwards in time to meet them because of reasons.
Drift. It's got a drift.
I remember that when they transmatted out, they thought they were only going to be a few minutes. So
Yes.
they didn't set the TARDIS to travel back in time to meet them. So
Yes.
it's just automatically doing it. So any story where the Doctor doesn't have the TARDIS is superfluous. All right, cool. They're actually on the space station when it's just a beacon.
This was the arc in the future.
So they better not fuck anything up because otherwise they're going to fuck up their own timeline.
Well, yes. You don't want to destroy the beacon because...
Or, I don't know, shoot it off into the far reaches of space.
No, he had it orbiting by the end. He said, now it'll settle back into
Oh,
orbit.
okay. All
I
right.
mean, do you not pick up the nuances in this episode, Adam?
I didn't realise there were nuances.
Well, there's one or two.
A door slides open, revealing a dead body. The Hoobie gang enters the corridor and, oh no, all of the mannequins have been killed.
I do like how casual the when the door opens and the body, the actor falls out onto the ground and it's, he's dead. He's been dead for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I thought, it's Very quick diagnosis.
Yeah.
He looks good too.
He
for
did
2
look
weeks.
very good for 2 weeks.
It takes a coroner's and an autopsy to figure out how long someone's died. Not Harry Sullivan, though. He looks at their hair and he's like, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. There's no bug activity, although there's probably no bugs in space.
But then everyone that Harry checks is an actual person, but then everyone else is just a mannequin.
Yes.
Very obviously a mannequin.
I like the way most of them, you can't see their heads. They're all falling off the thing. But, I would think that when I got out and saw a lot of dead people, I'd probably go back in and wait for the TARDIS.
I would have been a little more freaked out.
Yeah. I wouldn't be quite so casual about, a massacre, but there you go.
And touching them
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Just a lot of touching them on the shoulder.
Got a smell when you touch them anyway.
And they've been dead for weeks.
Yeah.
Months almost.
Yeah, it gets on
Day
your
79. As the Doctor tries to get through the door without losing his arm, nobody notices a silver snake-like creature, a Cybermat, crawling along on the bodies behind them.
Oh my God, the Cyberman.
That tickled my fancy, those Cybermats.
What I love the most about the Cybermat is when it attacks you, you have to hug it so that it will.
You have to hold it up. If you just let go of it, it would just fall
It
down.
would just drop to the ground.
Yeah.
Did someone just throw it at you and then you had to grab it and pretend?
It's so good.
I'm going to hug the Cyberman. Oh, it bit me.
No, well, I thought they would have had as a hand puppet. So you've got your hand up it, attacking yourself with it.
Well, that would have made more sense.
Yeah.
But instead they just had a puppet and they just threw it at you and you just had to hold it in place.
Yeah.
I did like how they launched themselves off the ground without any sort of spring or anything, just straight up and at you.
I know, they could play basketball. They would be very good at basketball.
Oh no, it's the Cybermat. How is it propelling itself? Nobody knows.
It's just got legs. It's got spring.
In a communications room, crewman Warner warn.
It's Warnie.
In a communications room, crewman Warner warns an approaching spaceship to stay away from Nerva Beacon as it is under quarantine due to a plague.
Are the Earth people that shit that they didn't notice bite marks?
How does the plague spread? I don't know. We just leave someone in a room by themselves and when we come back in, they have the plague.
Yeah.
In fairness, though, I will say if Harry had been bitten, he was wearing a cravat.
Oh.
So you wouldn't be able to tell that there were fang marks. And the crew, the outfits they were wearing, there was an unnecessary necktie.
Yes, that's true.
Can you imagine, that you're on a space station, you get up, you get dressed in the morning, it's like, will I do a Windsor knot? Will I do what'll I do?
It's part of their uniform, so they have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
very British.
They've been up there for 8 months. Everyone's dead. I mean, I'd be sitting around in thongs.
I'd be nude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be, fronting up every day in my pressed uniform, putting on my tie.
I think the insinuation is that they've just been wearing the same clothes for 79 days.
Well, do they go to their rooms? I mean, the only
But
person
we never see them go to their rooms. The only bed we see is the one that's in Kelman's room, and then the bed that's just in the middle of the room somewhere where they take turns. Kelman gets off it, and then someone else jumps
What's all that
on.
about?
I don't know. Was it like some orgy going on? Some bit of man love?
That's how I thought the episode was starting with when they were spinning. I thought, what's happening here then?
Do.
Boom, chicka, wow, wow.
It's saucy.
We also learn that Beacon Nerva is on a 30-year assignment to warn ships away from Voga. It seems Voga drifted into the solar system 50 years earlier, was captured by Jupiter's gravity.
Did anyone notice that Voga went from black to brown to very gold, depending on where we were in the story?
Oh, I love the gold colouring all throughout, because sometimes the gold colouring is just bronze.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's gold. I'm like, it's not.
It's bronze. Could be copper.
And they're walking through being like, everything's covered in gold. And I was like, is something wrong with the colour on my TV? Because it all looks like rocks to me.
Yeah, no, it all looked like rocks to me.
They actually filmed in a rock system in Wales, I think. Or
Oh,
in the
did
UK.
they?
Yeah.
Wookiee, was it
Wookiee.
Wookiee Caves?
Yeah.
Oh, Wookiee Cave, as in Chewbacca.
I think this
Yeah, so
probably
they named it after
predates.
Chewbacca. Yeah.
Well, geez, that's a Star Wars reference way before its time. I like it.
Wookiee Cave. Sometimes it's obvious when they're like crawling underneath and like coming through and there's not much light. It's like, had a bit of trouble lighting that section, did you?
Yeah.
And the acoustics.
Much like our podcast in the library, I
Yes,
thought.
yeah. Yeah, that's our Wookiee caves. Professor Kelman, a planetary surveyor and a smug, annoying git, asks Commander Stevenson how long they could run a 50-man station with 3 men, but he's told to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and he was obviously the baddie.
Yeah.
The smarmy face, the slicked
hair,
back
the haircut.
He was like Dr. Smith from Lost in Space.
Yeah.
You immediately want to punch him in the face, don't you?
You wouldn't leave kids around him, that's for
No,
sure.
no. In fact, he's one of the few people I would have thrown out the airlock while everyone was dying and gone, no, must be the plague. I don't know what happened to him. Gone.
They try later on because they find out his plan is, oh no, he's not working with the Cybermen, he's working with the Vogans.
Oh, I don't know
And it's
who.
like, no, he still killed everybody on that spaceship.
Yeah.
To what, lure the Cybermen there?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I reckon there would have been a better way to lure the Cybermen there.
Yeah.
Just telling them, come.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
Would have made the episode a lot briefer.
yeah, there were only 30 men on there and bullets don't hurt the Cybermen, so...
Well, they had more men than they did Cybermen, so they couldn't.
I know.
There was just the 4 Cybermen. They're like, yes, we actually have plenty back in the ship. They're a little bit tired. They're going to stay there for the moment.
Didn't he say we've got the parts? We've got the parts in the back. I tell you, mate, come here, look at the boot. We got.
Yeah, you think this is menacing?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
wait till you see what
We
else
got
is
bloody
coming.
cyber parts here and guns.
We've got all the vacuum hoses that we need to make new Cybermen.
We've got silver paint out the yin yang.
and silver suits that don't breathe.
We've got 3 silver swimsuits.
Yeah.
Ready to go. We could totally make more Cybermen if we want to. We
Yeah.
just don't want to right now.
Don't make me angry because
I'll
I
take.
will rain down upon you
Yeah,
with great
silver.
vengeance
And
and,
if we-
furious anger.
If we need another cyber leader, I have some black spray paint and
Yeah.
we can do that.
I will Dora the Explorer up this cyber suit.
I do like that, just so you can tell, because you can't tell them apart. It's nice that they put a little different colour on the cyber leader's head in case somebody turns to the wrong person and goes, cyber leader goes, oh, dickhead, I'm Bruce. That's the cyber
That's
leader.
the leader.
Do you think my black head thing makes me look fat?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
I wouldn't wear it.
Elsewhere, an alien tries to contact Nova, but is shot by his own people. Warner thinks the only place the signal could have come from is Voga, but Kelman tries to convince Warner that it's impossible. We learn that Kelman spent 6 months cataloguing rocks of Voga and found no life. Oh, sounds like he's got a swinging life down there.
Yes,
No wonder he's a bit crazy.
he's a big fat liar
Yeah.
because he was dancing and cavorting with Vogans.
And that's
He was
what
voguing.
Voguing.
that's what you could get your doctorate in.
Yeah.
Cataloguing rocks on Voga.
Oh, that would be nice. I'd like that.
No one would understand what it was, but it would sound credible.
It would make me sound like I was very smart.
Oh, here comes that woman that catalogued rocks on Voga.
Voga. Yep. Round rock, square rock, pointy rock,
Gold rock,
gold rock,
bronze rock,
copper rock.
What did you catalogue on Voga? Yeah, a bunch of gold.
just gold.
Ah, is that how you
Shitloads.
got your doctorate? Nah, I paid for it.
Yeah.
Threw a bit of salad.
Fucking rich.
Catalogued a rock.
I got an entire
the days
planet
worth.
that's got gold on it. I'm a fucking millionaire.
How do you think I got all these teeth?
On Voga, Vorus, the leader of the Guardians of the Mines, orders his men to bury the dead Vogan that was shot earlier. A sickly Magric, is that it? Magric?
I think it's Magric.
His aide tells him that the dead Vogan was frightened of Vorus's plan. I love the names in this thing.
Why is he sickly? Does anyone ever explain
No,
that?
he has a hanky. That's why we know he's sick.
Like, has he got a cold? Is it a virus?
Oh, well, he says, once we go up to the see the light, you will be rejuvenated or something like that.
So I will tell you that looking at Voga and being on the surface of Voga, it's no lighter than underneath Voga. Therefore, they're not going into the light, they're just going into the dark.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you could tell the difference between who was sick and who was well, because everyone's complexion was grey and they were all male pattern balding. It's a
Everyone looks the same.
I will make the observation that it was a very dick-heavy episode.
Oh,
One woman
Yep.
in 4 episodes.
Yes.
My God.
Wow.
Yes, I bet Sarah was popular.
I wanted to see what the female version of the Guardians looked
Looked like?
if that was the blokes.
I thought they were like dwarves, where like the women just look exactly the same.
Oh, maybe.
Which is why everyone looks so miserable. Oh, God.
I can't do anything with my hair, but nor can he. So
wearing
there you go.
and wearing a heavy velvet brocade knickerbocker in a cave.
Well, I want to know what they
As we
eat.
do.
What they eat. Like, what are they growing in the mines
Yeah,
to eat?
they gold.
Fungus. Gold.
fungus,
Yeah. Do they just eat a lot of mushrooms?
bugs, mushrooms.
We don't see any animals.
Some kind of cave fish.
Maybe.
Some sort of blind fish.
Nobody actually sits down and has a bit of a...
No one has a meal.
No. And you would have been disappointed with that being the food wanker.
As a food wanker, there
Yeah.
was very little food for me to critique.
Looking for a Vogan, edible delights. Nothing.
Nothing. Zip.
In the communications room, a Cybermat attacks Warner, making him writhe around and start to moan.
No, making him hug it until he rides.
No,
around.
but he makes some very moany sounds.
He
He's
does.
like,
I loved his.
oh.
I wrote down. I wrote some notes about that particular one. That
Tell us.
Yeah, that when it attacked him and the noises, if you replayed it without vision, it was.
I feel like
What's happening?
he was given the instruction of like, okay, everyone else is going to scream when they get attacked, so you just need to be less screamy. Yeah. And he's like, okay, I've got this. And he did it, and they went, oh, perfect.
You've nailed it.
Yeah.
You've nailed it, Warner.
And then he's gone on to have a great career in porn. So,
Surprisingly,
Low-key porn.
Surprisingly for him, his orgasm scream sounds like him screaming.
yeah. Weird. Is that a Cyberman? No, I'm orgasming.
No. Warner collapses, glowing veins appearing on his face, while Kelman enters and pulls the magnetic log tape from the console.
Oh, as all baddies do.
Dun dun dun. And the height of technology.
Oh, no.
Tape to tape.
Tape to tape. I mean, who needs USBs?
I mean, that log could last up to 50 years.
Or 10.
The Hoobie gang enter the forward control room, which activates an alarm, warning the Nerva team of intruders. Kelman shows them the infected crew member, and the crew are ready to open fire until the doctor offers to examine them. Stevenson agrees to let Harry examine Warner. They take Warner to the crew quarters as Kelman returns to his accommodations and spies on the doctor and Stevenson in the communications room using a hidden camera by plugging in a large Game Boy into a scrubbing brush. I love the technology.
That all
in
tracks.
This.
That all tracks.
Yeah.
Yep.
He pulls out like a thing that was almost going to fall out. He's like, "Oh, I just stick that in there and then plug this into here."
And then he's watching. So what has he been going around, like, putting these cameras everywhere? Is it a
knows?
satellite dish? What?
I am surprised at the technology that was used in these episodes, because I would have thought a lot of the budget was blown on the French horns that were used liberally throughout.
Yeah, probably.
There was a lot of French horn work.
There was.
The brush that he uses looks like either a scrubbing brush you would use in the bath or like something you would use to like pet down a horse.
Yeah. Or is it a nail brush? Isn't that what a nail brush?
I thought it was because, they all had that, like their hair had been licked down by a cat. I thought it was a hairbrush.
Maybe.
Oh, I thought they would just use a comb.
Like for Brill cream.
No,
Yeah.
you don't get a glorious sweep of hair with a bloody comb.
No.
Do you think he
need
also uses
you need
it
a
as
horse
a brush?
for that.
He gets a horse brush and he's like, I know this is my communicator, but I also need to use it.
But I also need to just get this fringe under control.
Oh, I've just got to slick my hair back and look even greasier
I hope
today.
I don't transmit my hair to the universe.
Which was why when the doctor walked in and he picked up the brush, I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. What's he
Yeah.
going to do? Tame those curls
Oh,
with this?
no, never tame those curls, baby.
Never.
But then it's okay because then it just looks like it's made out of cardboard.
I knew an old guy used to put Brill cream in his hair all the time, and he went off to church, but he accidentally put deep heat in his hair. Yeah, he stunk up the church. But anyway, just tell him.
And probably wept
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Oh, he's speaking in tongues. No, he's swearing.
No, he's not possessed by the Holy Spirit.
He does smell like a locker room and he's crying quite a lot.
It's a deep heat.
Stevenson tells the doctor about the asteroid, formerly named Neophobos, but renamed Voga by Kelman.
What was the point of telling us what the name used to be?
Yeah.
I don't get that because nobody mentions it, and the Cybermen call it Voga.
Why? They go, imagine he comes back and they're like, oh, how was Neophobos? Oh, they prefer to call it Voga. Who does? No one. There's no one there. There's no one there.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rocks. I spoke to the rocks
When I was doing my doctorate.
Yeah,
And
well,
they said, call us Virgo.
while I was eating rock.
and blind
What
cave
does he
fish.
eat? He's there for 6 months and they're like, what did you eat? Nothing.
Rock?
Gold is surprisingly delicious.
It's soft.
That's how he smuggles it out. He just eats it.
Oh.
And then poops it out.
Ooh, you'd have to eat small bits, wouldn't you?
Gold dust.
Oh, really? Oh, God. I never want to go through my own poo for gold dust, I got to tell you.
Oh, shit, I'd go through it.
Oh, what?
Gold dust.
Ugh, no.
I'm not an
bleh.
animal.
No.
I'd wear gloves.
I'd flush it.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
You're doing all right, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I
Oh,
just...
la-di-da. Someone can flush their poo. Ooh.
Nicchia's too good to go through her own poo.
Oh, God.
I really am.
You really are such an elitist
Oh, Beck,
since
I
you
hope
got
you're
that doctorate.
I hope you're editing this episode, Beck.
Nicchia Winterbottom Smythe. We don't go through our own
That's
poo.
what Winterbottom means. It means you used to go through her own poo for gold.
Yes, Chili Bottom.
Oh, God. The doctor recognizes
Bottom.
the doctor recognizes the name Voga, the planet of gold, and realizes
Why
that
doesn't he recognise the other name?
Neos Phobos.
Because they changed it.
Earthling,
They only just changed it.
humans gave it that name. The reason Kelman
Kelman gave it the
yeah, but
name.
Kelman says Voga because that's what they call themselves.
Oh.
So the doctor recognizes it because he knows about Voga.
All right, I'll let it slide.
Okay, all right. The explanation. The doctor also notices that the tape drive of the ship has been ripped out. So presumably they only have their SSD drive left for backup.
Oh, no.
Modern technology.
Back up your tapes. They are going to get eaten up. You know how many tapes I had to go through?
It was the 70s, so they could have backed it up on a vinyl.
Oh, God, I had to buy 3 different tapes of Foreigner 4 album because it just kept getting eaten up.
Well, that's like when I was playing the Labyrinth video game on Commodore 64, and they had the 5.5-inch floppies, and you'd take it out of the drive, and in your hurry you'd put it on top of the drive, and then stick the next game in, not realizing there's a giant magnet in it, so it would wipe the disc.
I hear you both speaking, but I don't understand a word you're saying.
So glad we invited you on the podcast. Why did we do that again?
It's called technology.
Do
Adam,
you
Adam
love
does.
me?
Do you love me?
No, I do not.
Oh,
No, I do not.
this is hurtful.
Oh, that's right. He won't let me touch you.
Hey, it's how the song goes. I'm sorry. Stevenson's is
Their names are great.
so many S's. Stevenson dismisses him.
It's
Stevenson.
Alan Shield.
Stevenson dismisses him, saying that the Cybermen died out centuries ago. But the doctor points out that they merely vanished after attacking.
Ooh.
After attacking Voga. I should have finished that sentence.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
But the doctor
just,
points out they merely vanished after attacking Voga at the end of the Cyber War, which is, basically what died out means.
Oh, okay. So the Cyber Wars, I had to look that up to refresh my memory on the Cyber Wars. There's been quite a few. They always turn up. They have some human helping them who double crosses them, or they double cross him, and then they lose. That's the Cyber War.
We will give you whatever you want, human. By the way, do you also know we're made from humans?
Yeah.
I just want to point that out. We are probably going to turn you into a Cyberman.
Yeah, and we have no feelings.
Didn't they have in the very first iteration, I read something about they had human hands? Like
Yes,
the first
yeah.
time the Cybermen were seen?
Yeah, because they were made from humans on the planet Mondos, who got kicked out of our solar system by, I don't know, an asteroid, and it was freezing cold, so they had to adapt themselves, and now they think that organics are weak.
Well, they'd be right.
Yeah, the
They'd be
crap
right.
that lives in my head.
Oh, if only you could use it for good.
I know, instead of evil all
Well,
the
you do
time.
have that doctorate now, so.
Yeah.
It's a doctorate in Doctor Who.
Cyberman.
Kelman contacts a cyber ship nearby using Morse code, the highest of all forms of communication in the future. Beep, 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 beep.
When he got it out, I'm going, please tell me that you are, oh no, it's Morse code.
It's Morse code.
I love he has to pull out this giant machine.
Yeah.
He has to pull out a giant cord that plugs into the
Plug
wall.
it in.
I'm like, is that supposed to be a PowerPoint or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if they needed that. They could have just popped it on and pretended it had its own power.
The future, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the future sucks.
I love that we don't even have the same power plug in different parts of Earth. Meanwhile, he's got a communication device from the Cybermen, and he's like, yeah, can you make sure it's got a 3-prong plug? Because that's what we've got on our spaceship.
Yeah, because I won't be able to send Morse code.
Yeah, it's got to be 52 volts, otherwise it's going to fry it.
If you
too.
don't have an adapter, we're
Oh, the whole
screwed.
thing will be buggered up.
Oh, yeah. They'll all know.
And can you make it look like, I don't know, a bread box?
Or like an old typewriter, but without the
Yeah, I thought it was going to be
cartridge
typing
on the
something
front,
out,
yeah.
but no, it's literally just a Morse code
I
thing.
thought maybe it'd be a teletext. Ooh. That's the height of technology.
Warner succumbs to his infection, and the doctor notices 2 puncture marks. Having already read the script, he knows it isn't vampires. Because most of the time when it is vampires, he looks at the punctures and goes, vampires.
What I would like to point out is, again, to reiterate that the Earth medical team were fairly shit if they couldn't see the puncture marks.
Yeah. Well, they died first, and nobody else knows. They're like, oh, that must be part of the plague.
Anyway.
But if they were all wearing those high button-up business shirts and the Oxford ties, it's hiding their neck.
Well, wouldn't you when someone's dying, wouldn't you undo their tie, or do you keep the collar?
The British
up?
wouldn't. Stiff upper lip and all of that.
I love that they say that the medical crew told us it was the plague. How did they tell you? Well, they died first. Oh, okay. How did they tell you then?
As they were dying, they went, I think this might be the plague.
We were attacked by a Cybermen, but it was the plague.
Maybe one survived and buggered off and went, it's plague, I'm out of here.
The doctor suspects that Warner was injected by poison and that he could have used the transmat to filter the poison out of his system because that sounds sufficiently sciencey.
I don't know how that works. Glad it did, mind you, but what they were doing was setting up for when Sarah got bitten.
Stevenson states that, I sometimes wonder if your friend is quite right in the head, referring to the doctor who he only met a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, but that's the doctor. He does come across quite
But
brash.
he makes it sound like he's known him forever. Sometimes I don't know what your guy's thinking about. Like, you literally just met him.
Sarah doesn't look impressed by the comment.
She doesn't look impressed by anything.
One thing I noticed in this episode was it was as though Tom Baker, he is Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone else was from the Royal Theatre Company.
Yes,
Like
yes.
actors, all actors acting.
Yeah.
And he was being authentic and everyone else around him was acting. It was just a really weird...
If you see an interview with him even now, he says the doctor was just him. He didn't have to be anything but him. He never looks like he's acting.
I've played many roles in the theatre, Hamlet, many other Shakespearean roles, Madrick the Vogan, which I also went in with the same gravitas.
Well, there was one... I was watching in my... deep research for this episode that there was one of the scenes that was shot in the cave where they were crawling through the cave and they jumped onto the Cybermen.
Yep.
And he had argued with the director to say that's not, like, the way you want me to do it is not something that I would do.
Yeah.
So they played it out a different way. That it's
Yeah.
like, you're right. He just was totally inhabited the character.
I think that's why he was so amazing in the role, because that's who. I mean, there's a part where Sarah says, "Doctor, it's good to see you," and he goes, "Is it? Oh,
Yeah, and then gives her a tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, that's that done.
I think it's a testament to how great he was that the first D4WH episode I did, you gave me what was considered to be one of the worst episodes by one of the least popular doctors. Thanks for that.
Yeah, we're good like
and
that.
then with this one, you said, oh, it's Tom Baker. And I'm like, woohoo! And you said, but it's widely considered to be one of the worst episodes. I went, okay, well, I take a bit of umbrage at that.
Yeah.
But still loved the shit out of it.
I did too. I actually don't think it's the worst Tom Baker episode.
Yeah, I went online to try and find what the best and the worst Tom Baker episodes that people consider are, and this was listed consistently as one of the worst Tom Baker episodes. I don't think it's that bad.
No.
I
gets
learned a new
boring.
word in my research too.
yeah.
Can I share the new word I learned?
As long as it's not rude.
Well, that's the thing. It sounds super rude.
Ooh,
it sounds super rude. That the dialogue in this episode was described by one critic as being chuntering. Chuntering. And I went, well, that's just a made-up word. So I went and looked it up.
If you are chuntering, you should see a doctor.
Oh, well, exactly. You pack of
chunts.
And what does it mean?
Chuntering means slow and monotonous.
Really?
It's an actual word. And I assume very British, because only the British would describe the dialogue as chuntering.
Chuntering. I didn't mind the dialogue.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, in fact, the banter between Harry and Sarah was one of my favourites.
I was distracted by her sweeping arcs of green eyeshadow, but
Oh, yes.
had they put more women in the episode, perhaps that would have drawn the eye away.
Well, it's nice to be the only woman. Well, the other women were...
Adam, your thoughts?
Being the only woman here.
Yeah. Being the only woman on this podcast, how do you feel about it?
I'm expecting a grant any day now.
You bitch.
I've already got a grant.
Oh, do you?
I'm a white man.
No, isn't it? No, isn't
yes.
it Dave?
Oh.
Not Grant. Or is there something else you need to tell us about?
No.
Who's that guy that I saw leaving this morning?
Nobody was in a blue car thing.
Wait, so I saw myself leave?
Yeah.
From the future?
Yes.
Oh, God.
You got a time-turning thing from Harry Potter.
The doctor, who has seen what Kelman looks like, is therefore suspicious of the slimy bastard. He's like, bad guy.
Bad guy.
Let me have a look. Oh, that guy's the bad guy. We should probably kill him.
Yeah, I reckon I would have got, as soon as I saw them all, I would have gone, there's your bad guy. This guy's going to die. This guy's going to die. This one could live.
Yeah,
Oh, what's that? Everyone on the spaceship is dead? It's probably this guy. Probably
Yeah.
this slimy bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the turtleneck with the sweeping fringe.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my money's on him.
Sneaking into his quarters, he finds communication device and gold, though he is forced to
Oh,
hide.
the doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot where we were.
Yeah, and the hairbrush. The
And the
horse
hairbrush.
brush.
But he's forced to hide when Kelman returns. Thankfully, Kelman has a Felfoch.
Felfoch
The
Pessimus
old...
Levine.
Slovene.
Thankfully, Kelman has a foolproof plan to turn his own room into a death trap. He electrifies the floor, but doesn't.
Excuse me, can anyone else's room do this?
Can this room do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you think we get our guests to stay?
I'll lift my hooves
Remember,
up
he
off the floor.
he isn't part of the crew. They picked him up as a
Yeah.
stowaway.
Yeah, what did he? So he what? Electrified the floor and put poisonous gas in it.
Well, it's not poisonous gas. It's just gas because the room fills up with it. But the doctor's totally fine.
But if you read the reviews and the synopsis and stuff, they say it's poisonous gas.
Yeah, well, you're
But
not
then the
just going
doctor
to
would
pump.
still be poisoned then.
Oh, yeah, but he's Gallifreyan.
If you're going to the trouble of electrifying the floor and making a mechanism that shoots gas out, you're not going to shoot like helium. That would have been super fun, actually, if they'd shot helium
Nitrous
out.
oxide.
Nice.
Help me! What's going on? No, nitrous oxide.
But we find out that he has control of Cybermat. So why doesn't he just use a Cybermat to kill the doctor?
Oh, because it could work.
Yeah. Okay. Rightio. Sure.
Yep, that tracks. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, if you kill the doctor, it's very short. Show.
Yeah. Exactly.
But the Cybermat would have to wrestle through that scarf
Oh, yeah. And then someone would have to throw it at the doctor.
in that small room.
And he's in a
there was
room. Yeah, he's in a room by himself. So
I'll just leave the two of you alone. All right. The doctor's under the bed, so it should be easier. He doesn't even have to throw himself at him, just to come up beside him and go.
And
"Ah."
the thing is, he's under the bed, but he doesn't know it's electrified until he stands on it.
No, but the Kelman starts it and then walks on the thing, walks out. The doctor stands up, and it's not until the gas starts coming through that he's like, "Ooh, it's electrified."
Oh, well, that's convenient. So there's a delay on there. I mean, obviously, Kelman doesn't want to electrify or electrocute himself as he's walking to the door to
Yeah.
turn the poisonous
Yeah,
gas on.
no.
Well,
'cause that would be
again, that would be too
foolish.
easy if he just jumped on the bed, turned the electrified floor on, and fried the doctor underneath his bed.
Yeah.
The other thing is
Short
why
episode.
it was quite a small room. The only two places to sequester yourself would have been A, in the cupboard, and B, under the bed. Why not just lift the sheet and go, found you.
Yeah.
What are you doing in here?
Well, maybe he just wanted to just kill him.
Sure.
He was shit at it. Shit at the killing thing. But,
Well,
you know.
because he knew that the doctor had found his communication device. Because he picks up the hairbrush.
typewriter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the hairbrush. He picks up the hairbrush and he's like, someone's opened this up.
Someone's touched my horse brush.
I'll have to
I don't know why the doctor hasn't got like brill
I was going
cream.
to say then the doctor could have come out with his hair all like slicked down.
And then Kelman's like,
touching your
it's
horse
like
brush."
looking into a beautiful mirror.
Oh, what a fabulous buffon.
Playing
Condescending snicker, Adam.
Oh, he's
I'm
very
just trying to
he's very condescending.
playing
Is he?
MI.
Emma, that's a big word,
I?
isn't it?
A bit passive aggressive too.
No, that's
Ashwin.
yeah. Playing the floor is lava. The doctor reaches the door. He tries to open it twice with his sonic screwdriver, but nothing happens.
Yeah, I mean, I love it when the sonic screwdriver is designed to get you out of a locked room, but obviously it doesn't always work the first time.
However, once the cliffhanger is over, he is instantly able to open it.
Great!
Oh, God.
I knew it'd happen.
Ugh, such a force. Like, yeah, I hate those cliffhangers where it's like, ooh.
But you've got to remember, in those days, serial television was huge.
I know, but it just seems so stupid to be like, I've tried it twice, it doesn't work. What's going to happen? Maybe I should try it again. It works.
And so the doctor continues on.
Okay.
And
alright.
hence the saying, 3 times the charm.
Yes, that's right.
3 times the writing charm. I don't know.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Sarah is attacked by the Cybermat after
What he should have done is dropped the sonic and then had to get it off the electrified floor. That would have been a better one.
That would have taken too long.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
What he should have done is used his scarf somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was
like
going
a
to.
lasso.
Or Harry could have just opened the door for him. That would have been quicker.
All good suggestions.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
good
Why didn't
suggestions.
we write this episode in
I don't know.
1975?
I'm pretty sure I could have.
Meanwhile, Sarah's attacked by the Cybermen after she sits down to watch a bit of TV after a man has died in her presence. She's like, all right, well, you take the body off. Oh, what's this? TV. Oh,
what's
might
this
just
on
sit down
here?
for a bit.
Is it the goodies?
Oh, is it the days of our lives? What's been going on?
Oh, what's Hope doing?
What's happening on Coronation Street?
The Doctor hears Sarah screaming. He rushes to her, throwing the Cybermat to the floor and killing it with gold dust. But Sarah has already been bitten and will soon become a Cybermat.
Oh.
Sorry, that's vampires.
Yeah. No, she will soon be dead.
Yes.
Dead.
The Doctor carries her to the transmat chamber, handing her to Harry, and prepares to beam them down to Voga and back. What a surprise that in an episode with mostly males that a woman is just passed around.
Yeah. What I like is she's dying. They've only got minutes, but he does stop to do a presentation and explanation to Stevenson and Lester, waiting for the PowerPoints to come out as he explains what's going to happen
Just exactly
next.
what's happened.
And Harry's going, she's dying. Yes, no,
Yeah.
I just must finish this part of the dialogue.
However, Kelman has taken the transmat pentelium drive.
Oh.
It's
Or the
just always
TPD.
happening. I
Yeah.
hate when I get in my car and it's like, damn pentelium
Yeah,
drive.
I know. If it's not that, it's the flux capacitor
Yes.
someone's nicked off with.
The Doctor reconfigures the transmat to bypass the sabotage system while Stevenson and Lester confront Kelman.
Yes, and then it blows up in his face, the Doctor.
Oh, yes. I thought the Doctor was going to be blind.
Yeah, so did I, but it was just
They
pointless.
make a big deal out of it, and then he's like, oh.
And it was pointless.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Because the explosion looks like it comes from that device. So I wonder if they actually just chucked a explosive into that device, and that was actually Tom Baker being like, what the fuck just happened?
Look, I know that the budget's a bit...
The safety would have been very dodgy back then.
Do we have a safety person? No.
We did a recent episode recently, and it's like, well, we can't have David Tennant on a horse because he might hurt himself.
Yeah.
In the 70s, it was like, let's just blow shit up around Tom Baker. It'd be
Yeah.
fine.
Well, there were a number of incidents on this one. I was reading.
Oh, really?
I didn't read that. What?
I come to the party with new information.
You do?
I
Yes.
do. In Wookiee Caves, there was in the Sarah Jane
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
On the rowboat, the motorboat.
had an incident in the boat, and an
Really?
electrician had an incident in there as well.
Wow.
And that little roller coaster train, something happened. One of the wheels, something happened to a wheel.
What did Harry calls it? The Dodgems.
Yeah, that was good fun.
Well,
that thing.
the director of the episode has some superstition that they were haunted or something because he got locked into the caves to look around and plan his shots and everything. And a person came in and went about his way, and he talked to the manager. He's like, "Oh, you let a guy in?" He's like, "No, it was a diver who died years ago."
He was down there getting gold.
Yes.
Or fish.
Fish. I'm very hungry and I'm sick of rocks.
And fungus. Like a fish.
On Voga, Vorus observes a giant rocker, the Sky Striker.
Oh my gosh.
Is that like Skywalker?
Yeah.
Sky Striker.
Yeah. Why didn't you just call it the Big Bomb?
Well, Sky Striker sounds more menacing.
It's not striking the sky.
Why not just be really accurate and call it Vorus's penis?
Yeah.
The VP.
Poor old Vorus. He's a bit of a dick, isn't he? I would say he's a baddie, but he had no expression, so
Everyone,
was difficult.
All of the
couldn't tell.
Vogans look the same.
They do.
When they're like, no, you're the Guardians and we're the militia, it's like, yeah,
Hair
sure.
length was the differentiator.
No, and I think the Guardians, the hair started a bit further up and their cheeks were chubbier. I did notice that.
Okay, rightio.
They were like little cherubs.
Their brocade jackets and knickerbockers weren't as embellished.
They weren't, because they live an austere life.
Yes.
The Doctor beams Harry and Sarah down to Voga with poison filtered out. Sarah instantly recovers, but instead of returning to the beacon straight away, Harry spots gold lying around on the cavern floor.
You just know it's going to go bad.
As he tells Sarah his plans for the gold, the Vogans arrive and capture them, taking them for a ride on their little train.
You just think, just get back to the beacon, Harry, get back to the beacon. No.
Back on Nerva, Lester and Stevenson capture Kelman, and the Doctor explains Kelman's plans, telling the Nerva beacon team that Kelman is working with the Cybermen who are afraid of Voga because of its gold. Apparently, if it gets into their breathing plates, it suffocates them, though we never see this happen throughout the entire story.
No, No, but I do know that gold will kill, and that's why I keep gold dust in my
Okay.
when
So you can shit on
And
a...
that is the moral of that story.
no, I throw poo at them. It just makes the gold stick.
That is actually a really good street fighting technique.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if
Always-
someone wants to fight me, I'm just going to like crap and throw shit at them, and I'm going to look like you don't want to take me on.
Well, famously, this is my husband's defence mechanism.
Oh.
Is that
Crap him himself.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know that it's happened per se, but he certainly
There's a few things I don't want to talk about.
he's certainly ready for it. Should he be jumped in a dark alley one day
It's going to shit himself. Well, I
and hurl it like a monkey?
Well, I probably would involuntarily crap myself, so I would have something to throw, which would be quite nice.
Be a slow fight though. You'd have to crap yourself. Just a moment. I'll just have to take my trousers off. If you're wearing overalls, which are or a jumpsuit,
Could you look away?
Yeah.
I've got,
I'm a bit embarrassed.
Our mutual friend Greg, when he
Yes.
was very young, he was leaving a nightclub in Melbourne, and a guy said to him, "Give me your wallet." And he had, I don't know, a knife or something like that. And Greg, being young and drunk, ran away up the street and yelled out, "You got to catch me first."
And he's got notoriously fragile hamstrings.
Yes.
So that could have gone
It could have gone
very
either
poorly.
way for him.
Either way.
But the guy didn't bother chasing him, he just mugged someone else. But I just thought that, got to catch me first, and ran.
Insane. The Doctor realizes he can't get Harry and Sarah back without the Pentilium drive, but Kelman feigns ignorance, trying to buy some time until the Cybermen arrive.
He doesn't really even feign ignorance, does he? He just looks smarmy. Like,
Same as always.
I'm going to tell you where it is.
The Doctor uses a control box he found in Kelman's room to activate a cybermat, threatening Kelman with it until he reveals that the drive is around his neck. So whilst every other piece of machinery in this story is huge, this drive is a very small thing,
Yeah.
which we never see.
Well, and thank God for that, because if you get it, it's going to be the size of his, well, I was going to say penis.
Of course you were. Of course you were.
We all knew where you were going.
No, if it's going to be the size of his Morse code machine, you're
AKA his penis.
going to notice. Get your Morse code with your penis.
Doot, doot, doot. SOS.
You probably could. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, what? Beck's in the room.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh,
god.
no.
I'm sorry, is there too much estrogen in the room for you?
Yeah.
Too many boobs.
I know, there's 6 boobs in here.
There are. Well, four boobs and 2 moobs.
Moobs.
Mm.
I love a moob.
Yeah, I always order that when I go to McDonald's. A moob. A
Moobs.
couple of moobs, thanks.
Show us your moobs.
And they're like, you've already got some.
You've shoplifted 2 already, sir.
And now I refer to our previous podcast, Back Boobs.
Baby back, baby back, baby back boobs.
Harry and Sarah are chained up in a cave where Harry notes that the chains are solid gold. Solid gold, baby.
I would like the solid gold dancers to have popped out for that, so
They could make them,
they could.
which is soft metal that perhaps they can file through.
I love the banter in this. Sarah says, we're not just going to sit here glittering. And then he's trying to get it off. And then he tells her she has thick ankles. And she's really upset about it.
She's a tiny woman, and he's like, thick ankles. It's like, sorry, who do you think you're going to be dating, mate?
I know. But she goes,
Yeah, you're wearing a cravat, you punts.
she goes, I do not have thick ankles. But I do. I really enjoy the banter between these two.
Vorus is called before Councillor Tyrum, Chief Councillor of Voga.
Yes. Who's got a beard
Yes.
and has a lot of trouble talking out of his mask.
if you tended like this, like I couldn't. Sorry, what did you say?
My neck is breaking holding this stupid thing up.
I've got some prosthetics in my mouth and a conch.
I think we need more beard. Yeah, let's have more beard, shall we? I see Tyrum as a fragile, older character, much like Polonius from Hamlet,
Who I played.
played
At the Royal Shakespeare.
at the Respiratory Theatre.
What I would like to jump back, when Vorus is questioning Harry and Sarah,
Yeah.
do anyone else notice that he refers to himself in the third person?
No.
He goes, do not upset Vorus, because Vorus is... And I thought to myself, it's very Trumpy, isn't it? Very Trumpish. I think Vorus has got a real problem with
Harry, Sarah, do not upset Trump. Trump will be very upset, even though he's got huge hands. They're giant hands, guys.
But Boris is a stable genius, I will say.
That's
But
right.
he's the wrong shade to be Trump.
Yeah.
He's
He
not
is.
tandoor enough.
Yes.
Well, I will say, Boris did ask the humans for help.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Trump never asks the humans.
Oh, because he
for
doesn't
help.
need it.
No. Well, he never asks other nations for help.
Oh, I was going to say he doesn't ask people for help, just like Rudy Giuliani, who is, I don't know, some sort of Halloween creature.
Vorus wants to share their gold with the galaxy to trade for weapons, but Tyrion wants to hide in the planet under all their gold. However, because the Khaleds fighting the Thals wasn't bad enough in the previous episode, now two factions of this planet will fight each other. However, they are both wearing very similar clothing.
Yes, just different hair and chubby cheeks.
Yeah, chubby cheeks, short hair.
And not as far back, a little bit more forward. So they've obviously
Less
been
receding.
less receding. So they obviously living in the caves makes your hair fall out.
I think it's funny because in the bonus stuff, they talk about we really enjoyed doing Genesis of the Daleks and we wanted to do something similar with the Cybermen. It's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious. You don't need to tell us, mate.
Yeah, and you did it badly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You did it well, then you did it badly.
Yeah. One of these things is not like the other.
Fighting breaks out in the mines between the Guardians and the militia, which involves them vaguely shooting at each other whilst the other faction hides behind rocks.
Yeah. All bad shots, thank God.
And very echoey again.
Very.
Wreaked havoc in that cave with the sound.
I love at one point they go, we'll fire a warning shot above their heads, and it's like, it doesn't matter. You could have shot point blank, you still would have missed.
That's exactly.
And you're in a cave. If you shoot a warning shot above their head, it's going to start a rockfall and crush them anyway.
Yeah.
So
And you.
yeah, and you.
They were obviously taught how to shoot by stormtroopers.
Yes, that's it.
Luckily, Harry and Sarah have managed to free themselves and escape. They are pursued by Guardians and are cornered. Tyrion's militia troops arrive, forcing the Guardians to stand down. Don't worry, if you thought that was the only alien Civil War style action you were getting in this episode, then you are mistaken.
Oh, what a relief.
I know. I was disappointed. And then I was not.
The scene where the militia and the Guardians come out and they're like,
Yeah.
and they start singing,
Jets.
militia.
My hair's longer than your hair. My hair's longer than yours.
La 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 la, and I plait it too. Yay!
My boss has got a sky striker. Please forget you heard that. The human has repaired the transmat but is unable to lock onto Harry and Sarah as they have left the receptor circle. I hate when that happens.
I know. Stay in the receptor circle. I mean,
Guys, if you get
there's one
lost,
thing.
stay in the receptor circle.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to remember.
just stay in the receptacle.
Circle.
Circle. It's a circle of receptors. At this point, Lester detects an oncoming ship.
Who
but-
does? Lester.
Lester, yep. We all know who Lester is.
Yes. He's the young one.
No, he's not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to the old guy, but he is
Yeah.
not young.
No.
Not young by any stretch
he's
of the
got
imagination.
the thick, full head of hair.
Oh, he
Yeah.
does. What a luscious head of hair
It
he
was.
has.
Was it rug? Was it not rug? But then I go, it's the 70s, so it was not rug.
It was not rug.
Yeah, everyone had rug.
He would have had that horse brush through that thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
Absolute mont.
The ship does not respond to their signals as the unknown ship docks. The Doctor recognises it as a cyber ship.
Why did he not recognise it when you can see it on the monitor?
And wasn't it a jaunty docking? Eh?
Yeah.
Goes on the side and then just goes straight in like a giant peen.
There was a bit of that.
Oh, it was awesome. I had to pause
I know,
the
and then
episode.
a train went through a tunnel.
No, fireworks and fireworks shot out of the head of the Cybermen.
God, and a
And then we
rooster
come
crowed.
back. Then we come back, and everyone's just smoking.
Lying on that one communal bed.
Yeah. That was quite a docking you gave me.
The Cybermen come through, impervious to gunfire, and shoot all three men down. The Cyber leader tells Kelman that the three men are not dead, merely neutralised, as they are necessary to
But
their
wait,
plan.
does the doctor have no more gold dust? Why doesn't the doctor tell anyone that gold dust or gold will slow them down at any point?
Well, the other thing that would slow them down, and I know I'm pointing out the obvious here, is because the weapon is in their forehead, they have to be looking at you
Yeah.
to
Get
hurt
behind
you. So just, I don't know, duck down,
Yeah.
stand to the side, sneak up behind them. All good options.
Put a hat on them.
Put a hat on them. Stick a post-it over the top of it. You know, God, so many options.
Harry and Sarah meet Tyrion down on Voga and start to explain how they arrived, starting with how they were trying to find the TARDIS.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't get over that. So tell me your story. Well,
Didn't he look bored shitless when she's like, oh, I suppose I better start from the beginning.
I'm
It's
thinking,
like, well,
God.
you don't have to.
Get on with it.
Cut to the chase, sweet pants.
And they just tell him everything. They just assume he's a goodie. He could have been a baddie.
Kelman tells the cyber leader that he set the transmat receptors near a shaft that leads to the core of Voga.
Shaft, core.
He beams down to ensure the receptor is working and check out that shaft.
Oh,
Well, there's a lot of men there. You got to like a shaft.
yeah.
Shaft! He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. The three men discover why they have been kept alive. They will carry explosives down to Voga and destroy the asteroid completely. Then the Cybermen will take over the galaxy.
Did anyone notice that when they've been shot and then they're sitting against the wall, they're doing a hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
Oh, really?
They really are. One of them's covering his ears, doctor's covered his eyes, and Lester's covered his mouth. And I wonder what that is about.
Just a little in-joke.
Nothing. Yeah.
A little wise monkey work.
Could have been. Back to the throwing your own shit.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that makes sense now that the Doctor throws his own shit later
Yeah.
in the episode.
Cool.
Tops.
Not cool. Kelman arrives on Voga but runs into some militia, not realising the distinction between them and the Guardians.
Well-
Tell me about it.
Again, receding hairline,
Yeah.
long hair, short hair.
Kelman is a racist.
Come on. If you're going to align yourself with people, at least be able to tell them all
Recognise
from each
them.
other. Yeah.
He demands to see Vorus and is taken away while trying to warn them that they are all in danger. Harry and Sarah are still talking to Tyrion down on Voga. I wonder how long that conversation went
Well,
for.
it started with we're trying to find the touch. It's probably a whole thing about Davros, the
And
robot.
so then what happened was, then I tried to team this pair of camouflage pants with these boots, and I thought, does it work? Does it not work?
Doesn't work, but I'm still wearing it.
I'm wearing it. Covers my thick ankles.
When they finally get to the part about Cybermats, Tyrion decides to take them down to the gold mines to confront Vorus. The Doctor wonders what Kelman's reward is if it is not Voga's gold. He taunts the Cyber leader, saying that the Cybermen were finished once humans discovered their weakness to gold and ended the Cyber Wars. I like that the Cybermen think the war's going to end because they get rid of Voga.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, there's not going to be any other places that have gold on them, like
Well,
Earth.
Earth has glitter guns, right?
Yeah.
Which really made very disco for me. I did have a Bay City Rollers sort of, I don't know, something. Saturday Night Live thing. Did anyone at any point during the last Cyber War mention to the Vogans that gold will kill the Cybermen?
Yeah.
No. I mean, this is a really big communication breakdown because why didn't they tell them? They've got gold everywhere. It drove me crazy. I'm sorry, it really annoyed me.
I can tell, yeah.
Can you?
No.
She's enraged.
I'm going to set my hair on fire. I'm that angry
You're going
about
to set
it.
your hair on gold.
That'll show them.
Oh, that
Yeah.
will show them.
Yeah, you won't-
any of them still alive? Because that'll show
You
'em.
won't filter through your own poo, but yep, you'll set,
Set
your
my-
hair on fire.
For a cause, I will.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Set your hair on fire for a cause.
Yeah.
The lesser known shave for a cure.
Can I sponsor you? Yeah. The lesser known cousin of the shave for a cure is to set your own hair on fire.
Yeah, it is kind of permanent, but, you know, it makes its point.
Does it?
Does it? Yeah, does it?
Yes.
Instead of paying, donating to shave your hair off, it's donating an extra milliliter of gasoline.
Oh, and actually stealing skin off people to
Yeah.
put back on my
Oh,
head.
sure. After grabbing a cyber bomb, the Doctor makes the cyber leader tell him that Kelman was promised the rule of the solar system after the Cybermen had conquered it. Another Cyberman sneakily sneaks up behind the Doctor and he is recaptured.
It's like Cedric Sneak.
It's like,
Yeah, you'd think all of that metal would have
yes.
no.
In the modern series, you can hear them going, "Gugush, gugush, gugush, gugush." But in the old series, they were like, sneak, 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 sneak.
That's because they're wearing gold synthetic material. No, not gold.
Silver.
Silver.
Yeah.
Silver, polyester.
They're basically just wearing sneakers.
lycra. No, they're wearing Wellington boots.
Oh, were they?
Silver ones.
Silver Wellington boots.
I like the way the Doctor goes, I this bomb's going to be unstable if I drop it. and then you see what happens when it's strapped to their backs. But anywho,
One
we'll
of
get
my
to that.
favourite phrases during this particular bit was when they'd strapped the bombs onto them and the order came to prime the buckles, which I thought was so menacing. Prime the buckles.
The Cybermen do a lot of that. Prime the buckles.
Prime my buckle.
I like how that buckle is primed. on you.
Ooh, God, you prime a buckle well.
I've heard about you and your buckle priming.
I don't want to alarm you, but if you release that buckle, something's going to explode.
Something's going to dock.
It could be the Sky Striker.
The Sky Striker.
Sky Striker. Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to come play D&D with me? I got a new Sky Striker. With cyber bombs strapped to their backs.
And buckles primed.
There's just, they just look like bowling balls that have like things stuck to them.
They're the worst. The Cybermen are the worst at inventing things. They've got Morse code. They've got cyber bombs that look like, I don't know, they came from Acme bombs that Wile
Like the
Coyote.
Roadrunner.
Yeah, Wile Coyote got them.
The Dr. Lester and Stevenson are told to plant the bombs at the core of the planet. They then have 14 minutes to return and escape via transmat.
Yes, oddly specific.
Yes.
14 minutes.
Yes.
14.23 minutes.
And we got a constant countdown. We've only got 11 minutes left.
Well, and the countdown doesn't make any sense to me because the Cybermen are staying there and the needle's going everywhere.
The Doctor and the other two don't know how long it's been because the Cybermen are back, and also the timer on his little thing, it looks like both the needle and the background are moving.
Yeah, and I thought maybe it was they're getting too close to gold. I thought it was like a gold detector, and then at some point I went, oh, it's a timer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I go,
Righto.
once it hits the red zone, and then the first time they show it, I go, oh, is that supposed to be the red zone? Then the second time they show it, it's like changed again. I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck's going on.
I don't think anyone did at this point.
Their progress will be followed by radar, so if they go off course, the Cybermen can use manual controls to explode the bombs.
Yep, they're still using radar. I mean, the Cybermen are so behind.
The Nerva team and the Doctor are beamed down to Voga, accompanied by two Cybermen, one of them holding a timer. Militia arrive and all hell breaks loose. The Bomb Brothers run away, and the Vogans are killed by the Cybermen.
Because no one told them about bloody gold.
Yes.
Jeez, it annoyed me.
It is an oversight.
Yeah.
It is a huge oversight. Wasn't it the UN Council? UNIT didn't mention it to anyone.
Wouldn't you think that because gold is so prevalent that their guns would be made of gold, and therefore their bullets would be made of gold, and therefore they would kill the Cybermen?
And there's not, if you're living in a cave with a receding hairline, heavily brocaded jackets, and eating nothing but fungus and cave fish.
No wonder you're
there's
grey.
there's not a lot else going on to distract you.
Yeah. Yes.
So you'd think you could retain the memory of,
gold
Gold,
kills
yeah.
Cybermen.
I think that's why they were all so eager to go fight the Cybermen, because they were like, oh, hopefully they can
how
just
could you
kill
detect
me.
eagerness in their demeanour?
No, because they just had such a boring life. They were like, oh, I hope the Cyberman kills me.
And
Yeah,
do the
true that.
Vogans have any idea why the Cybermen are there to kill them if they don't know that they're
No, but
allergic to gold?
They seem to have some rivalry with the Cybermen because they know about the Cybermen from the first thing. They were like, the Cybermen will find us.
So did the humans defeat them and everyone thought the Vogans were dead because they all went underground? So they said, oh, don't bother telling any of the Vogans.
That's the thing is like they know from the start that the Cybermen are hunting for them. They never question why. Like, why would they come after us, a planet that's full of gold?
Nor
Yeah.
one of them, one of them goes, now I seem to recall something that we do or something that we have.
Is it the fungus?
Could be. Is it the fish?
Yeah.
Is it the knickerbockers we're wearing?
Should we chuck rocks at them?
Rocks at we could, but the rocks are all covered in copper and bronze. And
Oh,
gold.
well, as we know, the best course of action is to get in contact with a human, get the Cybermen lured to a space station, and then build a rocket to smash into the Cybermen and then hopefully destroy them all.
Yeah, and at some point,
yeah.
let it be known to the Cybermen that we're still alive.
Yes.
That is a really good plan.
Yeah.
Voris has thought this through. He is very Trump, isn't he?
Well, he
It's a very
gave a
Trump
couple
episode.
was it him that gave a couple of speeches? It was a cross between Martin Luther King and is it Jimmy Durante on? Oh, here's some deep cuts.
Oh, yeah.
On the waterfront, it's like I have a dream.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and you know I could have been something. We could have been something.
I could have been a contender.
Yeah, I'm like, the writer's just got bored. Of
I
that.
love when Voris is just there punching that thing of meat. He's like, I could have been a contender.
I have
Tyrone!
Stella. I'm mixing movies.
Can't you
Yeah.
hear me yell?
Umbrella.
The Simpsons.
Ella. Sorry.
Vorus shows Tyrum the Sky Striker, but with the Cybermen already on Voga, they have no time to get it ready.
Oh, my God. God, that annoyed me. That 4 hours ago.
It's all so specific, though. It's like, we have 4 hours to get it ready. Okay, well, it's going to take exactly 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then it's like 14 minutes. Like, every time, like, it all happens on the same day.
Yeah.
No one's ever like, Sky Striker. Sky Striker's been ready for about a month now.
It's like you just living your life in a cave, nothing's happening, and all on a Monday, everything goes
happens
wrong.
at once and
Yeah.
everyone just falls apart.
I know. And then you're shooting people you used to like. And
Vorus claims his plans were to free his people from the fear of the Cybermen and bring them back onto the surface.
yeah, why? It just looks like the caves.
Especially if you're on an asteroid that keeps flying into different solar systems.
Yeah, you're not growing anything up there, buddy.
No. Tyrium scoffs, seeing as Vorus has allied himself with Kelman, a double agent and murderer, motivated only by the promise of gold. Sarah uses a motorboat and transmats back to Nerva, where she discovers that the Doctor and the Nerva team are on Voga. Awkward.
Harry says to her, I'll try and dismantle the rocket. You go back to the beacon.
Yeah.
No, Harry, you go back to the beacon. I'll have it. Oh, you didn't even try to sabotage the rocket. Yeah, thanks for that, Harry. Thank you.
It's like there always has to be at least one person on the space station. It's like, okay, well, if the Doctor and the others leave, then Sarah has to go up there. And then if Sarah leaves, then other people have to go up there.
Yeah.
Tag, your turn up in the spaceship. The trio continue to descend. The Doctor suspects that the heavier concentration of gold will interfere with the Cybermen's radar, and once they reach the center of the asteroid, they can double back and surprise the two Cybermen on the surface.
But they've only got 14 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't get extended at any point.
That's if the bombs don't just go off at some point, because I
Well-
have no idea how long it's been.
Well, and also he says they're unstable because he pretends to nearly drop one in front of the cyber leader, and he has a cyber fit. What?
Meanwhile, Harry and Kelman are crawling down a cross shaft towards the same location. With the exit blocked, Harry pushes against the foam rocks, causing a rock slide.
This is Kelman's only redeeming moment. He saves Harry, but he dies.
Oh, I thought you meant his redeeming moment is to get killed.
Yeah, well, that's true. But he does push Harry out of the way.
Kelman is crushed to death by a boulder, while on the other side, foam rocks bounce off the Doctor and the Nerva team.
Right, who have what? Unstable bombs?
Bombs, yes.
Yeah, and as they fall and rocks hit them, they don't go off.
No.
No, they're fine. Well, it would be if you disengage the buckle.
Oh, okay. That is one primed buckle.
Very specific.
Oh, I like
Bomb.
Harry exits the shaft and finds the Doctor unconscious. Not realizing the danger, Harry tries to unbuckle the Doctor's harness.
that. Dum.
He's like, let's get you naked.
Let's get you out of this thing.
Get you out of this thing.
Let's slip into something a little more comfortable.
Something a little more revealing.
Fortunately, Harry is stopped by Lester. The Doctor awakens and utters the best line of the entire story.
Yes.
Harry Sullivan is an imbecile!
Harry takes it fairly well, really. I don't know if is Harry one of those guys that you like take the piss out of him but doesn't get it?
Yes.
So it's really not bullying because they didn't know.
At the end of this episode, he should have been like, all right, fuck you all. I'm going back to Earth. This is fucking bullshit.
I actually think it is his last episode.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
not
think he ever
surprised.
gets back on the TARDIS.
Hi, Brigadier. Here's Harry. He's a fucking imbecile, so he's going to stay here with you guys.
Tops.
Yeah. And your new surgeon is Harry Sullivan. I'm sorry. I would let anyone else can cut my leg off.
The Doctor conceives a plan. Stevenson will continue on and create a radar trail while the rest use a cross shaft to surprise and attack the Cybermen with gold.
Which seems to take an awful long time while they're getting the gold. I'm sure 14 minutes has passed.
They could just cover it, why don't they just, rub the gold on themselves?
Yeah, I don't know.
The Doctor and Harry jump the two Cybermen, trying to push gold dust into their chest plates. Ooh, so sexy. However, the Cybermen are too strong, and Harry and the Doctor are forced to retreat. Why can't they just, jump down and then throw it?
I don't know. Maybe you have to put it with some force and maybe just a little girly throw. I shouldn't say girly. A little child throw at
Like an
them.
Adam throw.
Yeah, an Adam
Yeah,
throw, yeah.
yeah.
Wouldn't you just smush it in their mouth plate area?
No, you've
if
got to
No, it has to
put
be
it
their
in
chest
their
plate.
chest.
Oh, okay.
Because everything should be rubbed into your chest.
Oh, okay.
Like-
well, they could have mixed it with some baby oil.
Or Vicks.
Vicks. Deep
Or
heat.
poo, as I pointed out.
But as we all know, if you
Sure.
want to touch someone's chest, you should ask for consent.
Well, unless they're trying to kill you.
True. Lester leaps onto the Cyberman and undoes his harness, exposing himself. The explosion...
Look at what I
Check
got.
out this, baby.
Proper look at this.
The explosion killing both himself and the Cybermen in a burst of flames. Thankfully, the explosion doesn't do anything to their bodies.
It is the worst. I laughed out loud. They're only going to take 3 of these bombs to the center of an asteroid. It's going to do bugger all. It's like taking firecrackers into the planet's
I love,
core.
if you've seen the bonus things that were on the DVD, I love, they have a story where they're talking about trying to get hold of old episodes. And they go, all we had was a novelization. So what they do is they take a scene from the novelization, they read it out, and it's like the 2 doctors come in and there's this giant flame that rises all the way to the roof, and they show a picture of what that would look like. And then like, and here's how it looked in the episode.
Yeah.
And it's literally just a bit of steam that comes out. It's like, what the fuck?
I've watched Bones. I see what a body looks like after an explosion, and it doesn't. They're all intact, like a couple of Tom Thumb crackers that they threw out.
It's just, that's why you can still get firecrackers in the UK, just so you can make your own Doctor Who episode.
The Cybermen needed to not kill the other 30 men because they needed about 30 bombs to go down there to make a dint.
And the small explosion doesn't make the big explosion go off? Oh, thank fuck for that.
Oh, God, it was terrible.
With the loss of contact, the Cyber leader orders immediate detonation. Sarah tries to stop them, but is thrown to the floor.
Roughly to the floor.
Yes.
To her waffling to the floor.
Centurion.
However, when the button is pressed, no explosion follows. Thankfully, the Doctor has had enough time to disarm the countdown device, which allows him to release his harness safely.
How did he disarm the countdown
I don't know.
device?
We cut away for 30 seconds and he's like, all right, done.
He's very clever.
Finished.
Yeah.
He's MacGyvered it.
He has.
Well, I was impressed. With Sarah tied up, the Cyber leader now plans to send Nerva, loaded with more cyber bombs, to crash into Voga to destroy it.
I hope he puts more than 3 in there. But I mean, why didn't he just crash the beacon into it in the first place?
Who knows with their plan? It's so stupid.
Oh, no wonder the Cybermen always lose. They're dickheads.
Magric tells Vorus that the Sky Striker is now ready, but before he can launch it, the Doctor asks him to give him 15 minutes to transmat to Nerva and deal with the Cyberman himself.
Why not 14?
Who knows? 13
Well, you don't want to
and a half
get it
minutes.
confused with the earlier
Well,
time limit.
He should have known that Vorus would halve it, so he should have been like, okay, give me 30 minutes, because
Yeah.
that'll give me actually 50 minutes, armed with a bag of gold dust. I'm surprised he just doesn't go, do you have a bigger bag of gold dust?
Yeah, like this one's a bit shitty.
If he does not contact them by that time, then they can launch the rocket. Vorus tries to fire Sky Striker pretty much as soon as the Doctor is left, really.
Has he closed the door? Right, go.
Tyrium shoots Vorus, but as he dies, he triggers the launch.
I know.
My greatest achievement.
Oh, God, I had a smoke after that too.
Treating us to some stock footage of a NASA space launch, which you can clearly see the word NASA written on the side of the spaceship.
Well, maybe the Sky Striker and NASA.
And it's obviously on land, not underneath, not in a cave system.
Well, it was a deep cave.
Also, if it's in a cave system, wouldn't it like break the crust of and then shatter the whole asteroid? Weren't they just doing the Cyberman's job? This is where I got lost. Anywho.
Apparently that same stock footage was later used by MTV to play in between different...
I remember that.
Different music videos.
Yeah.
So people in the 80s saw it like thousands of times.
Yes, we did. I remember when MTV came about, we thought it was pretty damn cool.
Well, this is almost as cool as the 1970s Doctor Who.
Just to have film clips instead of just in the 70s where they had like greasy haired people going, yeah. And now you had stories.
And meanwhile, you sat watching the music videos being like, oh, I hope someday we have some losers who are fighting each other, or you know.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Doctor reaches Nerva and frees Sarah while the Cybermen are loading bombs onto Nerva Beacon. The Doctor takes a Cybermat and its control box, filling the Cybermat with gold dust.
What did he think he was going to achieve?
He sends the Cybermat to attack a Cyberman, injecting him with the dust and killing him. They attempt the same thing on the remaining 3 Cybermen, but there are too many. The Cyber leader also manages to reach the Doctor and shake his shoulders.
Oh, my God, did I laugh at that. Was he giving him some sort of shih tzu massage?
Some Dr. Spock
I
kind
kept
of.
thinking he's never going to stop. He's just
All right, now in this scene, I want you to shake him roughly.
It just looked so.
Oh, it's so dumb.
It was so.
I don't know if there was
funny.
supposed to be a special effect or something that was supposed to be there.
A noise.
It just went on and on and on. Oh,
I think it was just a ploy to get Tom Baker's lustrous curls just
maybe.
swooshing about.
I think they said to him, "We're running short in the episode. Shake him for 10 minutes."
Yeah. All right, keep shaking. Yeah,
Keep
just shake a
shaking.
bit
Really?
longer.
Just
Yeah.
keep it? Yeah.
Just keep going till I say cut.
It was some sort of massage or a sexual.
Oh, it was insane.
Oh, God, it was funny.
The Doctor is forced by the cyber leader to tie himself and Sarah up, and they are left to perish in the crash. You know, because when you want to tie up some people, you make sure they tie
They
themselves
tie
up.
themselves. After
They-
I've shaken you roughly, now
They-
I want you to tie
yeah.
yourself
And talk
up.
about double entendres. You're headed for the biggest bang in history.
So tie yourself up and strap yourself down, loves.
and prime your buckles.
Yeah, prime your buckles and gird your loins.
Oh man, the Sky Striker is approaching just as fast. The Doctor manages to untie them both with a trick learned from Harry Houdini
Yes.
and contacts Voga, telling them how to steer the rocket towards the cybership, even though he has never seen the control panel before.
Never seen it, doesn't know, and then and I love this. You know, just I don't know. No one here knows how to use it. Oh well, I will.
I'll know. I'm sure there'll be 2 levers on the left, and
Yeah.
I think the top one will do. Oh God, I don't know. Will
just pull something.
Yeah, just pull something up and down.
That's another double entendre.
And then
I think he
touch some
says
levers.
pull it hard.
Doctor, it made the missile explode. Okay, well, try the other lever.
try the other
Doctor,
lever.
it's dead. It's dead.
Oh, I hate that. Was it your right or my right?
no, the other right.
Oh, dickhead.
Thankfully, not only does it manage to steer away from Nerva, but he also manages to control it to hit the cybership.
Yeah. How one lever is going to make it do that?
I love when they go, all the Cybermen have left the space station, so we shouldn't have the rocket hit the thing. And they were just like, it'll just hit the empty beacon.
Who cares?
Why? There's no one on it. The whole point was to destroy the Cybermen.
I don't know.
I love to think they were just sitting there going, well, it's got to hit something.
Yeah, we can't just have it jut off into space.
That's right. It could hit a nice planet. You
It's
know.
the biggest bang in history.
Yeah, I mean, it could have hit Mars and killed the Ice Warriors. We don't like them, so you know.
The Nerva beacon, however, is still on a collision course with Voga. The Doctor manages to unlock the gyro controls by, I don't know, a crank of some sort.
Yeah.
He knows where he gets that crank from.
How my dad used to tell me how he started his first car
Yes,
with one of those cranks. Apparently, it had a lot of dents in the bonnet when he'd get cranky.
Get cranky.
Cranky.
Skimming Nerva just above the asteroid's surface until they reach the other side and open space.
And then the Doctor says now it'll settle back into orbit.
All right, okay, all right.
He did say that.
Okay, all right.
Because I was wondering where the hell it was going to go.
It just keeps shooting out. The TARDIS materializes just as Harry arrives via transmat. The Doctor tells his companions to hurry up. He has received a message from Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart through the space-time telegraph the Doctor left him, which means it is a grave emergency. Harry asks if they should say goodbye to the commander. Sarah tells him not to argue. The Hoobie gang rushes into the TARDIS and it dematerializes.
Now, the space telegraph, that's mentioned in The Day of the Doctor. It's in the Black Archives because
Sounds like the name of a 70s band.
don't they try to contact Kate Stewart when she's having the
Isn't
fight
that the
with
psychic
herself?
paper?
No.
Okay.
When the 3 doctors are in the TARDIS, I thought one of the things they used was the space-time telegraph.
I still think that my favourite disco album is by Space Telegraph.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do, Space Telegraph.
Mine's
Do-do-do-do.
Glitter Guns.
Glitter guns, yeah. All right, is there anything else you would like to mention about Revenge of the Cybermen? First up, who are the Cybermen getting revenge on?
I don't know.
The Vogans, maybe?
Well, the Vogans, why? Because the Vogans don't even know.
Because they have gold.
But the Vogans don't know.
The Vogans seem to be fighting with themselves more than worrying about Cybermen.
I mean, I think the Vogans are sitting around going, I don't know why they don't like us, but they don't like us, so let's just live underground.
Meanwhile, the humans are like, hey, we're still here, guys.
Yeah, we've got glitter guns, but don't tell the Vogans. I don't know. I don't know who they were getting revenge on. Cybermen do not have emotions, although we did see him get angry, the cyber leader.
And we did see him afraid because when the Doctor has the bomb, he answers his question, so he would have to be afraid.
And they shouldn't want to get revenge because they have no emotions.
Look, I will say it's not the worst episode we've ever had to watch.
It certainly isn't. If this is the worst of Tom Baker's 7 seasons, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of them. And I disagree because a lot of people will hate me for this, but I think Logopolis, Tom Baker's last episode, is the worst. He's not the Doctor. He looks over it. He looks tired. It's got the master in it, who the old master was just a dick. He was shit. It's got all new companions, and I don't know. So Logopolis for me is my least favourite Tom Baker episode.
And Beck, is there anything you want to say about Revenge of the Cybermen?
Well, I was just going to say, if it's your least favourite episode, can I look forward to being invited back on the show to review that one?
Yeah.
Given my track record.
You know you will be.
So I'll say with this episode there were cravats, handlebar moustaches, skivvies, velour jackets, sweeping green eyeshadow and knickerbockers. I loved every moment of it. I have to assume I saw this episode when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I loved it. Loved it.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't expect it to be fantastic special effects. The only bit that really got me upset was, oh, come on, someone tell them about the gold. That really did get me. And also the bomb that was just like a Tom Thumb cracker. I didn't really get that. But
And the Cybermats.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
special shout out to the Cybermats.
yes. I didn't find the dialogue, what is it, chunting?
Chuntering.
Chuntering. I didn't find that at all. I thought that there was some banter that I really enjoyed, and I enjoyed Harry in this and Sarah. I liked it.
And what would you give it out of 5?
That's hard. I think probably I would have to give it, I'm somewhere between a 2.5 and a 3, but I'm thinking a 3 actually. When you said it's the worst, and I kind of had a memory of it and thought, I don't remember thinking it was that bad. Parts of the story a bit, but yeah, I loved it. And also you've got to remember I come at it with the childhood memories and that, so that probably taints what I think.
So I went onto eBay as well, and I only wish I'd had enough time to order the fleecy Cyberman onesie. $84.60, delivery free. So I just wish I'd had time to order that in order to wear it today. I agree with all of the online reviews I read, and I give this a solid 3.5.
Ooh, that's going to be the highest score.
Yeah.
It had everything. Lots of different baddies, lots of different special effects. Of course, the French horns, liberal use of the French horns to build drama.
You love the French horn, don't you?
Who doesn't, Nicchia? Honestly. Hey?
A French horn is better than...
That's how I
No
want you to
horn.
remember me, as a lover of the French horn.
I shall play it badly at your funeral.
I look forward to that with breathless anticipation.
You will be breathless. All right, Adam, what do you give it?
I think, oh my God. So I gave Robot a 3. There's bits that I like about this episode. It does, like I said before, 4 episodes is a good length for a classic story. It does get more boring and more convoluted the longer the episode goes. When I looked online and saw people going, oh, this is one of the worst episodes of Tom Baker's reign, I was like, oh, I hope it's hilariously bad and we can just rip into it. And it's not. It kind of just, it's a bit boring in parts, and I don't know. It doesn't feel like padding. It feels like maybe they tried to cram in too much stuff.
It does feel over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they've
too
got the
much.
Civil War stuff and then the Cybermen and like, look, I'm going to give it a 2.5. Like Robot, I quite enjoyed up until the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And this one, I don't really remember most of the last 2 episodes because they're kind of boring. Like the 3rd episode, just stuff happens, like, but it's not, I don't hate it. What's going on here now? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so, yeah, I'll just give it a 2.5. That'll
Yeah,
do.
it has my funniest ever Doctor Who moment in it, which is the cyber leader giving a weird massage, shaky massage to Tom
Mine
Baker for 10
is
minutes.
Harry Sullivan is an imbecile.
Yeah.
Like that, that has got to be a gif.
And you wonder after filming if Sarah Jane had a crack at him about the thick ankle comment. Oh. What did she mean by that?
Yeah.
That wasn't in the script, you asshole.
Bastard. Now, apparently he was a lovely guy. They really liked him. He passed away in his 40s. But, yeah, they really liked him. But he just wasn't needed because they didn't know, Tom Baker could do his own action, so they didn't need an action man.
I'm sorry, your perm is no longer needed. Thank you very much.
But I do...
Your cravat is being retired.
I do like the fact that there was no character in there besides the extra Cyberman that could have been a lamppost.
Yeah.
Sarah wasn't a lamppost. Harry couldn't have been replaced by a lamppost. So I kind of like that.
It is funny how in the special features they were talking about like, oh, today's episodes with the Cybermen have like hundreds of Cybermen. We only had 4.
Yeah. They did only have 4. But he had parts, he says. I've got
Yeah.
parts.
I've got
can
more.
make
There's
more.
plenty more where this came from.
That's right. We're having a car boot sale.
Yeah, do not tempt me because I will bring the noise.
I will put them together tonight.
Yeah, I will. It will take me between 14 minutes and 4 hours, but I will do it.
You wonder why they didn't just take over the beacon Nerva, turn everyone into Cybermen, and then...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe they didn't bring that with them.
Oh, God, they didn't bring the converter.
No.
Tool. Well, they already had the bombs and the buckles
Yeah,
and the
you can't-
Cybermen.
You
There was
know
a
what
whole
it's like.
And the
There's
Cybermen,
no
you
room in the
can't-
trailer.
Yeah, you can't fit everything in there. And you saw how big their bloody Morse code thing is. I mean, you imagine.
and the cables to clip into everything
I
was
know.
just.
And then not enough PowerPoints.
All right, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining us, Beck.
Oh, thank you so much for having
As
me.
always, it's a pleasure.
Namaste.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Absolutely nothing.
Fantastic.
Just be good to each other.
Oh,
That's
Be
all.
excellent to each other
yes.
Pay something forward. Pay something forward and do something nice for
by
somebody.
paying us.
But not an STD. Don't pay that forward. Pay something nice forward.
Nicchia?
Always Nicchia Shoot Comedy. Just go to my Facebook page, and if I'm doing anything or when I'm doing anything, I'm in a bit of a hiatus at the moment, but something will be up there.
And as always, you can follow Adam O'Sullivan Comedian on Facebook and visit thenerdinfinite.com. D4WH is on Facebook. Give our page a like for updates and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at D4WHpod. We'll post questions and polls and would love your input and feedback. Rate and review us on iTunes, recommend us on Facebook, and follow us on Podbean. We are also now available on Spotify and Stitcher. Tell your friends about us, and if you see someone on the street wearing a Doctor Who shirt, politely go up to them and suggest our podcast.
All right. Would you like us to give you an object and a location?
Yes, please.
Okay. The object is going to be a suitcase.
And the
Location?
Public toilet?
You're in a public toilet with your suitcase, hurriedly changing clothes as you try and escape from the law.
I fought the Lord.
And the law won.
I fought. Oh, sorry.
You live in a dystopian future where all podcasts are banned, but you can't stop yourself from listening to the dulcet tones of D4WH. Your favorite episode is even now playing in your ears. You can hear Nicchia and Adam and Beck, the guest, not the tech.
No, we've
no.
dumped her by now.
They're talking about my masters, the Cybermen. The Cybermen find you in a public toilet and they go, "We will get our revenge."
And then they shoot pea balls at
And
you.
they shoot pea-balls out from their head, and sometimes you die and sometimes you don't.
Sometimes it tickles.
But then you rip off your clothing to reveal you're a solid, cold dancer. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And the Cyberman falls over dead. And you begin the revolution to bring back D4WH!
Yes!
Viva la revolution!
Everything.
Huzzah.
Until next time, please keep blah 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 blah. Until next time, please. What do I fucking say every time?
Next time, keep searching the skies for the doctor.
There you go. Until next time, keep searching the skies for the doctor. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
See you.
This has been a production of The Nerd Infinite. And then the sound of dragons spitting fire and stuff. What? Why are you looking at me like that?